Let's get some thoughts on that from my two guests, Professor Rick Wilford from Queen's University and David McCann, Deputy Editor of the Slugger O'Toole website. Rick.
Yes.
Alistair MacDonald said it's a mess. Is it a mess?
It doesn't look good, I think, partly because I think there are only 174 people who voted anyway, which is hardly a kind of, you wouldn't read that as being a signal of health within the SDLP. What they've done is they've chosen an iron cage, if you like, in having a singular relationship with Fianna Fáil rather than a kind of elastic net, which would have been inclusive, open, flexible. Well, they've gone for a rather tight relationship, which could evolve into a full-fledged merger. Down the road. There are lots of moving parts in nationalism here at the moment. Alistair was at the Fine Gael conference yesterday, or the launch of the branch at Queen's yesterday. We had the Nationalist Convention just over a week ago. There's all sorts of moving parts here. This is, I don't know whether it's a signal of hope or of desperation. The electoral performance of the SDLP in the recent past has been one of serial decline. We're not going to have to wait for very long to see whether there's an electoral bounce because, of course, we've got the local government elections in May. I do think, though, that there is a risk for the SDLP here that many, if you like, Liberal Unionists, and maybe some Alliance voters too, are going to regard the SDLP as being less transfer-friendly now than they may have done in the past.
David, it is obvious that significant figures, big beasts within the SDLP, not least Alistair MacDonald, the former leader who's with us today, have serious reservations about this course plotted by the current party leadership. That in itself is a major problem.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's going back. The SDLP has always been this broad tent, this broad coalition. And I think the problem that Colm Eastwood and Nicola Mallon have faced as the new leadership team of the SDLP is what do they do? Do they continue with the status quo of reaching out to every party and basically trying to be that massive broad tent across the island of Ireland, which has seen sustained electoral decline for the SDLP? Or do they try something different? And Colm Eastwood and Nicola Mallon put it very well in her Irish News piece that the status quo isn't where we need to go, and that basically a partnership with Fianna Fáil can give the SDLP some important definition going forward. Because if you take a look at the SDLP's main competitors in Sinn Féin, they stress the All-Ireland side of their movement. And I think that the Fianna Fáil partnership does provide an opportunity, even though it does have risks for them to do that.
Could there now be resignations, do you think? People are unhappy with this direction of travel. Could they decide to up sticks and go?
I have seen some SDLP members on Twitter already tender their resignations, so there have already been some members who do feel uncomfortable with this and who really do stress the social democratic side of it. But at the same time, though, I do think if you're Colm Eastwood, if you're Nicola Mallon, you're facing a declining electoral base. The status quo wasn't really an option for the SDLP with 12 MLAs. They had to try something new. And as Alistair has said, the hard work starts here. It's how they actually develop that partnership and actually give it some proper meaning and actually contribute to the wider dialogue on the island of Ireland.
OK, we'll leave it there. Speak to both of you a bit later in the programme. For now, thanks very much.